We want to talk with a United Nations official about today's events in Gaza. Andrew Whitley heads the New York office of the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East. Mr. Whitley, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
What do you know about these strikes that have occurred on these UN schools?
In the past 24 hours, there have been 3 incidents in which there have been fatalities, 3 incidents in which our schools in Gaza have been hit by Israeli fire, in which there have been significant numbers of casualties. In the latest incident, we have confirmation of at least 30 dead and 15 critically injured, and that number is certain to rise.
So you have personnel on the ground who witnessed this?
Absolutely. We have 17,000 staff in Gaza, and we know very well what is taking place.
And of the most serious incident, what did they describe?
They describe a truly shocking scene. There were 3 shells that hit in the vicinity of the school, immediately outside the school. The school was crowded with people who'd taken refuge in there just in the last few days. We believe that most of them had come in the last 24 hours because we've been opening up our schools as places of refuge. These are locations which fly the UN flag, and the Israelis have the GPS coordinates of them, so we assumed that they were places of safe haven. Unfortunately, that's proven not to be the case.
The Israeli military is saying that these schools in the past may have been used as launching sites for missiles into Israel. Do you know of anything like that?
It's a generalized claim which I don't think stands up to close examination. There has been one incident which we are aware of, and the Israelis know the facts as well because we protested it at the time, when in the course of an Israeli ground incursion we evacuated a school. Militants did go into the school grounds and use it as a firing launching place for rockets. That was at a time when we'd evacuated in order to be able to ensure the safety of our own staff. We protested to Hamas about it, but that's the only incident where this has taken place, and it's not, to the best of our knowledge, taking place now. We have a team of internationals who guarantee the integrity of our facilities. They're paid for by the US government to ensure that our schools remain places where nobody takes advantage of their neutrality.
So storing of weapons, using it as a refuge for
Simply
militants?
Not the case. Not the case.
And what about the possibility that there could have been conflict, fighting between Israelis and militants nearby, and that the schools were struck inadvertently?
That's certainly a reasonable possibility. After all, our schools are in densely populated areas. Fighting is taking place nearby, and certainly it's likely that there would have been fighting that was in the vicinity of these particular schools. So I'm certainly not suggesting that the schools were deliberately targeted. But we have to remember that international law speaks about proportionality and discrimination in targets and choice of weaponry. And if you use tank fire or heavy bombing in an area where there is a considerable risk of civilian population, then the party concerned should refrain from using those weapons.
Are you worried this could happen again? And if so, what can be done?
Certainly it's a risk that it could happen again. We've had 3 incidents in 24 hours. These are simply a tragedy waiting to happen if one uses that type of weaponry in a crowded, built-up area.
Andrew Whitley, thank you very much for coming in and talking with us.
Thank you.